Hey guys, Evie here with part 2 of my Magical Readathon picks. As always, choosing a career was so tough, but I've decided to either be an Auror or a Hogwarts Professor. To become an Auror, you need to read books of 5 specific prompts, and to be a Hogwarts Professor, you need to read 7, but 5 of which are your choice. For more info, check out Book Roast's announcement video and her Wizarding Careers guide that she set up. Okay, now here are my picks. For divination, the prompt was choose a totally random pick off your TBR. And for this, I chose Potkin and Stubbs and the Haunting of Pelican City by Sophie Green. This was a totally random pick off my TBR, and is the second book in the Potkin and Stubbs trilogy. Like the first book, it is a detective mystery and a ghost story, and it hints at a film noir vibe. The last book was darkly funny and so vividly descriptive. I have high hopes for this one, and I cannot wait to see what Lil and Nedley get up to next. The next subject was herbology, and the prompt for this one was read a book that starts with M. I'll be reading Malamander by Thomas Taylor. I actually don't know too much about this one, but what I do know is that it has something to do with a legendary sea monster called the Malamander. It is set in a town called Erie-on-Sea, and somehow the plot involves a mechanical mermonkey? That sounds right up my alley. It's also a good time for reading it because the sequel, Gargantus, is going to be ready imminently. For History of Magic, the prompt was to read a book about witches or wizards, and I chose Begone the Raggedy Witches by Celine Kiernan. This is the first book in the Wild Magic trilogy, written by Celine Kiernan, who has been called Ireland's answer to J.K. Rowling. This is actually a reread for me because I loved it so much the first time round. When witches kidnap Mup's dad, she sets out on a fantastical quest to save him, and finds out about a world she never knew existed. This is a gorgeously imagined story, and the magic feels kind of unique. It's like raw, untamed, a little bit folkloric, and I absolutely loved being swept up in the story. The third book in the trilogy, The Promise Witch, is due to be out soon. For Muggle studies, the prompt was to read a contemporary book, and I chose Vincent and the Grandest Hotel on Earth by Lisa Nicole. This book actually has a really touching backstory. The author had a godson called Finley, and at the age of 9, he was diagnosed with an incurable brain cancer. To help pass the time, he became Lisa's sounding board and helped her imagine what the grandest hotel on Earth would be like. Some of his ideas helped shape this story about another boy with a shoeshine kit and the grand adventures that he goes on to have. I can tell this story is going to be so full of heart, and I can't wait to read it. For potions, the prompt was read a book that's under 150 pages. And for that, I chose The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman and illustrated by Chris Riddell. Neil Gaiman? Chris Riddell? Thank you, that is all I need to know. I'm reading it. It's a reimagined fairy tale, a little bit of Snow White and a little bit of Sleeping Beauty, but dark. It's not a graphic novel, but there are a lot of illustrations, and they are just hauntingly beautiful. The final subject is transfiguration, and the prompt for this one was read a book that involves shapeshifting, and I chose The Firemaker by Guy Jones. This book is about a kid who dreams of being a magician. He practices sleight of hand and how to conjure up cards, but then he comes across magic. Real magic. He gets swept up in an adventure that he will never forget. So there you have it, all of my picks for the OWLs Readathon. I got a lot of reading to do before the end of the month. I hope you liked my picks. This is Evie B from Rockin signing out.